Hello, my name is HM1 FMF Lance Price, medically retired Navy, and this is my story. Why the Navy and how did I get into it? That's an interesting start. So actually I went in the Marine Corps in '97. I injured my knee during training and went in to start pre-med school and ran out of money for that. And a Navy recruiter came along and said, I can take care of those loans for you and guarantee you a position that included medical. So I was like, why not? And I ended up in the Navy about 12 months later after getting the waivers that I needed from being in the Marine Corps previously. Went to ship first, the very first and almost only ship that I did the whole time that I was in the Navy. I was a corpsman, so what that means is I'm the doc for the Marines, I'm the doc for the Navy, so if the Marines need medical support, we go with our Marines. I had the luxury of spending the majority of my time with my Marines, so I still ended up with the Marines anyway, including carrying a little bit extra pack to make sure they're taken care of along the way, because they made sure I was taken care of. So with that being said, I did multiple deployments in Iraq and Afghanistan. During those deployments, we had one IED during vehicle mounted, which is an improvised explosive, and we had one IED while footbound. The one that we hit while footbound pushed me and my sergeant a distance, but luckily whoever planted them wasn't that smart and they pointed it the wrong way. But that's where they believe my traumatic brain injury came from. There's no for sure instances. So as I'd done my multiple tours in combat, I was asked to go to an afloat training group, which is a group that trains younger sailors and make sure that the ships are ready to go for service and for combat. While I was there, I had the opportunity to be with a lot of great leaders, and those great leaders noticed a issue with me managing, but it's like I never was ever asked in the first place. So I've got some severe short-term memory issues, so sometimes I have to hear, a lot of times I have to hear things multiple times to retain it. So the retention was one of the big factors. And I was diagnosed with PTSD back in 2007 of my career. And again, thanks to the great leadership that I had at the float training group, they recognized the PTSD issues were getting more severe, and were able to be that group that pointed me in the right direction to get the extra help that I need. I'm gonna back up a little bit. So like I said, diagnosed in 2007. You're like 2007, 2016, that's a big gap. Okay, so in 2007, 2008, the military was a bit different. If you complained of your anxiety, if you complained of flashbacks, if you complained of anything in that nature that was combat related, you in your mind risked losing your rank, losing the opportunity to advance, and possibly losing your job completely. So it was something that was frowned upon to hear a veteran say. Now mental health is on the rise and people are realizing the importance. So from 2007 and until 2011, I took treatment and had some results with the treatment. And with PTSD, since 2007, I tried multiple different treatments. Just nothing really helped until once I got out of the military, which we'll talk about here in a minute. So I'm going to keep moving up. But it got to the extent to where not only my PTSD was hurting my military career, it was hurting my family life, and it was to the point that the psychiatrist came down. I had a team, and they decided that the best thing for me, if they weren't going to allow me to deploy again, the best thing for me was to be medically retired, and that's where I'm at now. Once I was medically retired, I'd say for the first year, I was really lost. I wasn't really sure what to do because you do something for 18 years, that's all you know. So you start new and you have to make new friends. You have to figure out where you're going to figure out where home is because the military has figured that out for you for pretty much almost the past 20 years. I got to just outside Orlando, Florida. I met a good friend of mine. His name is Joe Bachman. He introduced me to a young lady named Christine Waltz that runs a nonprofit organization out of Hanover, PA, that provides a specialized treatment for veterans free of charge. They cover the monetary cost of it, or we cover the monetary cost of it. It's a shot that goes into the neck, and what this shot does is it resets your fight or flight mechanism by resetting the nerve bundle in your neck. So they put the nerve bundle to sleep, and when the nerve bundle wakes back up, it's not as agitated. Is this an end-all, fix-all to PTSD? No. Believe me, like I said, since 2007, I don't think there's an end-all, be-all for PTSD, and I know there's not for TBI. I mean, your brain's bruised, your brain's bruised. But there are so many great opportunities out there for veterans that if they just look and they reach out to the right people, they'll find the thing that's going to work for them. It took from 2007 to 2019, or let's see, no, from 2007 to 2021 for me to find something that worked for me to where I'm actually able to be a part of my family's life and actually able to function and actually able to actually run my own business now, which we'll get into here shortly. But for the Love of a Veteran, as I stated, it started in Hanover, PA. It's a national nonprofit. It started, I believe, in 2011. But the Florida chapter has been around for just over a year now, and being I had such large results, I wanted to bring these results to Florida. So a veteran in Florida that has PTSD symptoms and would like the opportunity to try out the SGB through generous donations throughout the state of Florida, we're able to provide that treatment free of charge for them. And that's one of the biggest things. I mean, especially with myself, and I hope that all nonprofits, whether it's a veteran realm, fire department, or police, are all the same. But my biggest thing is there's no one-stop shop for anything. And just because something works for you doesn't mean it's going to work for someone else. You work in a business to where you make a design. 80% of people might like it, but 20% may not. So you don't know what's going to work for who until they themselves get out there and try it. But that's my biggest thing to shout out to any veteran is if you're still suffering, if you're still having problems, continue to move forward and continue to look for something that's going to help you. And it's not just helping you, you're helping your family as well. So.